Darrell Jazz Johnson here, Fathers and Sons Magazine, MSG Varsity, and RazandJazzSports.com. I'm here with Walter Sczerbiak. How are you doing today,
I'm
Walter?
doing great, thank you.
Uh, Many people know about your son, Wally. As his father, what are some of the things that you are most proud of teaching him?
Well, I'm proud that he's a sportsman. You know, he has a good level of sportsmanship. I think I was also proud of how competitive he is as a player and as a worker. Um, I'm also proud of the way he gets along with people. You know, most of the people that come in contact with Wally say he's a pretty good guy, so that makes me feel like I did something right. I think he has good moral standings. Um, I think as a player, we had a lot of fun growing up, playing ball in the backyard. And I think he took a lot of those things, the competitiveness and the fun that we had playing in the backyard, and he's made a great career out of it.
Those backyard battles between you and your son, at what age did he beat you, or has he ever beat you one on one?
Well, he could actually have beaten me at 13, see, because I always handicapped the games. I always wanted the games to be pretty competitive. So when he was small, I say I'm not allowed to block your shot. When he got a little bit bigger, I said I could block it with my elbow. And then we got a little bigger, then I said, I can't jump. Then when he got a little bigger, I said, okay. And then, but I always wanted the games to get down to 14-14 with him with a chance to win the game with the ball in his hands. And I wasn't one of these fathers that was like knock him on the ground. I didn't want to take that love of the game that he had. I know he enjoyed doing it so much. So I'd always try to force him to his left, though, which was his weak hand, because I wanted him to develop the weak hand. And it was the, toss-up whether he was going to make that shot or not, because I wasn't going to give him two chances.
So, with the NCAA tournament coming up, what are some of your memories about his great performances in the NCAA tournament?
It was surreal. We were down there in New Orleans. I could still see it. We were, nervous. Miami of Ohio didn't have a big-time school reputation. They're playing in a conference like the MAC. And, to be going down there and playing against a team like Washington from the Pac-10. And as things were going along and Wally was having the game that he was having, he ended up with 43 points that game. And then when he blocked that last shot and he threw the ball up in the air, and I was looking around, here I am in the Superdome, down in New Orleans. And, it was just ecstatic. And then, you say, well, okay, next game we'll see who we play again, and it's Utah. And Utah was the number 2 seed. I said, well, this was great while it lasted, but we'll see what happens. And they just continued. Utah really put a lot of pressure on Wally. Wally depended on his teammates to knock down shots. He played a very unselfish game. Still ended up with 26 points or 23 points. And, made a key save with the ball going out of bounds and passed his teammate Rob Mestis, who hit a big three. And you talk about surrealism. I mean, to think we went down there, because, again, you're not a favorite at all, even though Wally had a great year. And then, after, they beat Utah, then we were watching Kansas play against Kentucky. I mean, these are two schools that have all the tradition and history in the world, and thinking we were going to play them next in the Sweet 16, we thought we were dreaming.
I can imagine. Now let's talk about your career. You won 3 EuroLeague championships with Real Madrid. What was that experience like? First winning the first championship and then repeating and then three-peating in a short span.
Well, the first championship we won my first year, I actually had a super year, but I didn't shoot the ball that well in the second half of that first game that I played in. For some reason, I don't know if it was a nerve attack, but suddenly my legs just felt like jelly in the second half. I had like 12, 14 points, but I went out in the second half, and from there I had to make a decision whether I was going to keep firing them up or, play team ball. I decided to play team ball. My teammates came through, and they allowed me to get my first European Cup championship at that time. That was like the first EuroLeague title. The second one, I was coming off an injury. I had a really bad ankle sprain. I was in a cast for about 3 weeks, and I had a week to get ready for the game. And I was struggling at the beginning of the game. But then I had our point guard, who usually came in about 7 or 8 minutes into the game. He said, Walt, we need you, trust you. He just got me going. Next thing you know, I hit 12 out of my next 13 shots. We took a lead, and I fouled out with 9 minutes left to go in the game. On a crazy, they called an offensive foul on me underneath the basket, going back to shoot a layup. The guy flopped behind me, fifth foul, and I'm out of the game. But we won. The guys held on, and then we won. And then, I won the third one in 1980, which was my last year at Real Madrid, and I was just a cup player at that time. So, it was a real big thing because in the Spanish league, you were only allowed to play with one American, but in the cup, you were allowed to play with two. So the team had to decide between myself and my other teammate, and they felt they needed a center more for the league. So I just played the cup, and it was a great way to end my career at Real Madrid.
Now, I believe it was 5 years ago, you were named one of the 50 most influential people in Euro Club history. What was that honor like?
I've always dreamed of things like the Hall of Fame. Europe never really had much of anything like that. So when I got the call, to be one of the top 35 players, it's one of the other 15 were coaches and referees. But, to get that call was like a dream come true. They offered to bring us over, flew us over on business class, my wife and I. They treated us like royalty. And then, to see old adversaries and teammates and have all those people together in one place was such a nostalgic experience. I mean, I was really proud, to be nominated and, named, and the experience of being brought over. It's like almost like a Hall of Fame experience here.
Final question. We're here at Madison Square Garden. So, what are your thoughts on the current Knicks team?
I just wish they wouldn't keep getting hurt. I think, injuries have been key in holding them back. Just when they're really on a roll, when Raymond Felton went down, Rasheed Wallace, who I thought was a big part of the Knicks' early start because of the respect he gets from all the other centers and big people in the league. And plus the way he clogs up that middle, that length really bothers people when they're just about to shoot at the last second, like many people who drive to the basket do. And Felton, it really hurt them. Then Carmelo goes out, and it's just been tough for the Knicks to keep things going, because if they would have had that team the way it was playing at the beginning of the year, they would have been formidable. They still are. What I have to admire about the Knicks is their competitiveness. When someone goes down, it seems like the Knicks are capable of plugging someone else in there. And I'm really proud of my boy Prigioni, because Prigioni played in the Spanish Basketball League and he was one of our really good players. And I always was wondering the day when a pro team was going to steal him from our league. And I'm glad they didn't do it sooner. I'm glad he did it when he wanted to do it, as opposed to 3 or 4 years ago when he was really one of our star players in our league.
Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.